All right, gather around, folks, and let me tell you a tale that'll chill you to the bone. It all started on a dark, moonless night when me and my buddies decided to test our bravery by spending a night in that old, spooky mansion at the edge of town. Yeah, the one everyone says is haunted. So there we were, feeling all brave and tough as we walked up to the creaky old door. The moon was hidden behind clouds, making everything darker than a tomb. But we had our flashlights and our nerves of steel, or so we thought. As soon as we stepped inside, it was like the temperature dropped 100 degrees. The air felt heavy, like we were wading through fog. And the place? It was straight out of a scary movie. Creaky floorboards, cobwebs everywhere, and shadows dancing like they had a life of their own. We tried to keep our cool, making jokes and betting on who'd get scared first. But deep down, we were all scared out of our minds. Every little sound made us jump, and every shadow made our skin crawl. Then we heard it, a sound that made our blood run cold. Laughter. Not the happy kind, but the kind that sends shivers down your spine. It was like it was coming from all around us, echoing through the empty halls. We followed the sound, our hearts pounding like drums, until we found ourselves in this dark, musty room. And that's when we saw it. A figure standing in the shadows, its form blurry and hard to see. But its eyes, oh, its eyes. They glowed with a strange light, staring right at us like they could see into our souls. We stood frozen, unable to look away. Time seemed to stop as the room grew tense, our breaths coming fast and shallow as we waited for something. But then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure disappeared, leaving us alone in the silence. We exchanged nervous looks, our minds racing with questions. But before we could make sense of it all, a loud crash echoed through the mansion, followed by eerie wails that seemed to fill the air. That was it for us. With a shout, we ran for the door, our footsteps echoing as we fled. We didn't stop until we were far away, hearts still racing. As we caught our breath, we knew we'd never go back. But just when we thought we were safe, the door slammed shut behind us, trapping us inside. We were stuck, with no way out but through this darkness, and who knows what other scary things waited for us. With the door slamming shut behind us, trapping us inside the haunted mansion, panic began to set in. We tried pushing and pulling at the door with all our might, but it refused to budge. It seemed like we were stuck in a nightmare with no way out. But then, in the midst of our fear and desperation, one of my friends noticed a small latch near the doorknob. We ran over. We could hear the figure's footsteps right behind us as we struggled to open the door, but with trembling fingers, they managed to undo it, and with a loud click, the door swung open. Relief washed over us as we stumbled out into the cool night air, gasping for breath as we realized we were free from the clutches of the mansion. For a split second, I seen the figure staring at us through the door as if it was scowling at us trapped in that condemned mansion. We ran as fast as our legs could carry us, putting as much distance between us and that terrifying place as possible. As we caught our breath and slowed our pace, we vowed never to return to the haunted mansion again, grateful to have escaped with our lives. And as the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, we knew that we would never forget the horrors we had encountered within those dark, foreboding walls.
The Cabin's Curse.
Deep in the heart of a mist-shrouded forest, there stood a forgotten cabin, its timbers weathered and worn by time. Legend whispered of an ancient curse that had befallen the cabin and its inhabitants, driving them to madness and despair. Curiosity and a dash of foolish bravery led a group of friends, myself included, to venture into the forest one fateful night, intent on unraveling the mysteries that lay hidden within the cabin's walls. As we approached the cabin, a chill wind whispered through the trees, sending shivers down our spines. Ignoring the warning signs, we pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside, the musty air thick with the scent of decay. The interior of the cabin was shrouded in darkness, illuminated only by the flickering flame of a single candle. As we explored further, we stumbled upon a hidden trapdoor concealed beneath a tattered rug. With trembling hands, we pried open the trapdoor and descended into the depths below, our hearts pounding with anticipation. What we discovered in the dimly lit chamber beneath the cabin's floor sent a chill down our spines. a collection of ancient relics, each one more ominous than the last. But before we could make sense of our findings, a sudden gust of wind extinguished the candle, plunging us into darkness. Panic surged through us as we groped blindly in the blackness, the air thick with the sense of impending doom. And then a blood-curdling scream shattered the silence, echoing through the forest like a death knell. With terror gnawing at our hearts, we scrambled to find the exit, our minds reeling with fear. But as we burst out into the open air, we realized with horror that the forest had changed. The once familiar trees now loomed like twisted specters, their branches reaching out to ensnare us in their grasp. With nowhere left to run, we huddled together, our breaths coming in ragged gasps as we awaited our fate. And as the darkness closed in around us, we knew that we had become the latest victims of the curse that had plagued the cabin for centuries. A curse that would ensure our souls remained trapped in the forest forevermore. The cottage.
One day, while exploring the woods on the outskirts of the village, Lily stumbled upon an old, abandoned cottage hidden deep in the forest. Intrigued by the sight, she pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside, the air thick with the scent of moss and decay. The interior of the cottage was a treasure trove of forgotten memories, with cobwebs clinging to every surface and dust dancing in the shafts of sunlight that filtered through the cracked windows. But amidst the wreckage, Lily noticed something peculiar, a small, intricately carved wooden box nestled on a shelf in the corner of the room. With trembling hands, Lily reached out and opened the box, revealing a dazzling array of jewels and trinkets that sparkled in the dim light. But as she reached out to touch them, a voice echoed through the cottage, sending shivers down her spine. "Beware, young one," the voice whispered, "for these treasures come with a price." Startled, Lily turned to see an old woman standing in the doorway, her eyes twinkling with a mixture of sadness and wisdom. "These treasures belong to the forest spirits," the old woman explained, "and they do not take kindly to those who would steal from them." Terrified, Lily dropped the box and fled from the cottage, her heart pounding in her chest as she raced back to the safety of the village. From that day on, Lily never ventured into the woods alone again, content to explore the wonders of the world from the safety of her own backyard. And though she never forgot the thrill of her adventure in the abandoned cottage, she knew that some treasures were best left untouched, lest they come with a price too high to pay. As time passed, the memory of the encounter with the mysterious cottage faded into the background of Lily's life. She grew older, her adventurous spirit tempered by the responsibilities of adulthood, but the allure of the unknown never truly left her. One summer's eve, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the air was thick with the scent of honeysuckle, Lily found herself drawn once again to the edge of the forest. The memories of her childhood adventures stirred within her, and before she knew it, she was weaving her way through the trees, guided by the faint glow of fireflies dancing in the darkness. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Lily stumbled upon a clearing bathed in moonlight, the air alive with the hum of cicadas and the whisper of leaves in the breeze. And there, in the center of the clearing, stood the abandoned cottage, its weathered walls a silent testament to the passage of time. Unable to resist the pull of curiosity, Lily approached the cottage once more, her heart pounding in her chest as she pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside. But this time, instead of darkness and decay, she found herself bathed in a warm, golden light, as if the very walls of the cottage were alive with magic. In the center of the room stood the old woman from Lily's childhood, her eyes twinkling with amusement as she beckoned Lily forward. "Welcome, dear child," the old woman said, her voice soft and melodious. "I have been expecting you." Confused but intrigued, Lily approached the old woman, her senses tingling with anticipation. "You have a brave heart and a curious mind," the old woman continued, "qualities that are rare indeed in this world. But beware, for the treasures of the forest are not easily earned, and the road ahead is fraught with danger." With those words, the old woman handed Lily a small, intricately carved wooden box, identical to the one she had discovered all those years ago. And as Lily reached out to take it, she felt a surge of excitement and apprehension course through her veins. For she knew that the adventure was only just beginning, and that the secrets of the forest were waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to seek them out.